Welcome to another episode of Aaron Plays. This is a continuation of my Storming the Gap Metal Rains, which is scenario 8 of the module. We're just about to start turn 4. As a quick synopsis of what has occurred and the victory conditions again, I need to, as the Soviets, capture objective A, which is a village here, objective B, which is a village over here. I need to take both of those to win the scenario in 8 turns. So we're just about to start turn 4. Okay, I'm going to try something different, slightly different today, guys. I'm going to remove this mini-me. Tell me which you prefer. Do you prefer me being on the screen or off the screen? Put it in the comments, and again, like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and let me know what you think. Okay, so moving me. Here's the turn counter. Okay, I've still got 3 lots of artillery available. They still got 1 lots of mines, but the electronic warfare is affecting both of us at the moment, so it looks like there'll be no artillery on this turn. And with that in mind, I will now draw the first formation card. And it's the electronic warfare. Let's see who it affects. 1 to 3. NATO get to play it. 4 to 6. I get to play it. NATO get to play it. Well, that was me short-lived without any electronic warfare hindrance. Get the counter for it. And we're back. Okay. So no artillery for me this turn. Right. Moving on to the next card. And it's the West Germans. Okay. Right, so going through the sequence of play. Return. They will now refresh. Well, everything's fresh at the present moment because it's the beginning of a turn. Command status. Okay. They've still got an EW reducing, so that affects their commands. We have to roll for each of the hexes they have units in other than the HQ. So this hex here. All right, it's a morale check, their morale being 7. This unit is out of command. Okay, the Marder in L9, also out of command. And the infantry in J6, they are in command. Okay, missile reloads. Don't think they have any markers, units with missile problems, no. Disruption removal, okay. So let's try and remove all the HQ. So the morale is 7, the HQ reduces that by 2. Sorry, improves it by 2 or increases the die roll by 2, whichever way you want to look at it. They need a 9 or less to recover their morale. Yeah, they're fine. So they're not. The Leopard 2 is no longer disrupted. The Marder in M12, because it's out command, it makes it slightly harder to recover from disruption. So they need a 6 rather than 7. They fail, they stay disrupted. They have no other disrupted units. Okay, so that is the disruption removal. Off-board artillery, can't use because they've got EW reducing on them. So into the action phase. And I have been activating the initial units closest to myself. So there's 2 here that I will check for activation, though the Marder is out of command, so it can't activate. So it's just the Leopard 2. Okay, I've got my deck of cards. They have been shuffled. So the first card we're looking at is number 61. Okay, now we'll look at the red priority on this card, and it says if disrupted LRM, but they're not disrupted any longer. So the next option is fire. Okay. Fire. Now, they've got, let's just say it's a target-rich environment. There's infantry of mine in M11 adjacent to them. There's the T62, and obviously all my infantry down on the south here. It will fire, but which one will it fire at? Which is the more threat? The T62, probably. So I'm going to have it fire at the T62. Again, these cards give broad guidelines. They don't give detail. I mean, it could be fire at anything. So, but I think my tank, because if my tank gets going, it could enter into close combat, and it's got just as much chance as taking them out as it has of taking me out. Whereas at the present moment, with that gun on the Leopard 2 plus the HQ, they should finish off my T62. So they'll be firing, if you look at the counter there, they've got 4 dice at point blank range. So normally be 3, so it becomes 2s. And they've got 2 for the HQ, so they're rolling a total of 6 dice, needing anything but 1s to hit. Okay, so they've secured 4 hits on my unit. So my T62 is in cover. He's rolling 3 at 6. And because of the wreck, he gets 4 dice at 6. Now, can I apply concealment in this situation? Let me pause for a second. Okay, well, concealment is allowed with a +1 defense bonus if I'm not moving. I'm not marked with ops complete. I'm not in a hex with a defense bonus. I am, which is the wreck. Not adjacent to an enemy unit. I'm not adjacent to an enemy unit, and not within 5 hexes of an enemy recon. There is no enemy recon, so I can claim a defense bonus, which gives me the maximum bonuses I can get for a tank, which is a maximum of 2 bonuses. So with those, I will actually be rolling 5 dice at 6. And they say got 4 hits. I got 1 6. That 4 becomes 3 hits, which is still, unfortunately, enough to knock out my T62. So I am now without armored support. I will add that to the holding box. My losses. Okay. And they are now marked with ops complete. Okay, so the Marder is out of command, will not do anything. The L9 Marder is out of command, so won't do anything. Over to the J6, drawing a separate card for them. They have got card 39. Now, they won't be doing any priority orders because they, well, no, they do have an enemy in line of sight. I stand corrected. They do. My unit in M11, as determined in last turn, is in line of sight. Okay, and its distance was 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hex range. So the range on the Milan is 7. So it's within normal range. And the first option it's got on here is fire. Okay, so which it will do. It will fire on my BMP in the woods, in the buildings, and it will fire with a total of 4 dice, requiring 4s to hit, because it's at normal range. Okay, here we go. No hits. Okay, they must have been looking the other way. Roll for missile ammo. Yep, it was obviously a dud, and they've run out. So I now mark them as missile ammo to be checked for the reload, and then the unit is then marked ops complete. Okay, so that concludes their activation. drawing the next card. Battlefield friction table, or events and then friction. Okay. So, now rolling 2 dice. Option 5. That's the third time of an option 5. Cautious approach. Let's see which side it affects. Again, 1, 2, 3 is always NATO. Oh, I've been given a cautious advance. Just a cautious approach, they call it. So, your troops exhibit caution as they approach the objective. Activate 1 friendly formation from modified formation impulse. When actions occur in the impulse sequence, units of your activated formation may only execute move or move and fire actions. Okay. And they only get half of their movement. So, okay. Refresh step, I've got nothing to refresh. Command status. So I am under the effects of the electronic warfare. So I've got to check for my command. All right, my morale being 6. Okay, so we will start with the unit in N12. Actually, there's 2 units in N12 because the infantry are not in the BMP. To be in classes carried by the BMP, they have to be underneath it. So the infantry, no, and the BMP, no, all out of command. Okay, O12, the infantry, they're in command. Everything stacked with a HQ is classed in command, so they're all okay. And then the Mr. Reluctant at the back, who's failed multiple command checks, actually decides to move forward and engage. Okay. Right, so that's the first step, the command status. Missile reloads. I don't think I've got anything. I've got a unit with a missile, no, but I've got nothing else which needs to check for that. Disruption removal. So even out of command units can check for disruption removal, though that makes it 1 point more harder to recover. So my morale 6. I'm checking for the unit in N12. Okay, so I need a 5 or less. No. If they'd been in command, they would have recovered. O12, they do recover from disruption. That's useful, considering they are also in command. Okay. Right, inside my hex, there's no disruption and nothing there. So that's all that done. Off-board artillery can't because I'm under effects of electronic warfare. And then the actions. Okay, so I can move or move and fire. Can't assault. I can't just fire. Though, could I class myself as move and fire without actually moving a hex? I'm not too sure on that one. Okay, so at the present moment, the N12 Marder is disrupted. Sorry, M12 Marder is disrupted, so it can't activate. And it's out command, but I know it can't actually fire into me. Oh, I haven't checked for the command status of the BMP in M11. Okay, let's check. He's in command, and then the recovery. He doesn't recover from the disruption, but he is in command. That's a slight problem with these counters, that they cover the whole unit. You can miss them, especially when there's more than, these are quite small formations, quite a lot of counters on the board from both sides. It can get very cluttered and highly stacked as well. But I found it. Moving on. Okay, so yeah, this Marder, and we know that the HQ here is ops completed. If my T62 had been in perfect working order, the one that just got destroyed, I would have tried to engage in close combat. So what we will try and do, though, is I do have a BMP with the HQ. He will try and fire, well, he will fire onto the leopard. It's got 5 value of 3, rolling 3 dice, sorry, with a hit number of 4, which is modified because it's less than half range, modified down to a 3. And because of the HQ giving me 2 extra dice for command control. So that will be 5 dice needing 3s to hit on the leopard. Collective sigh on that one. That was a big chance. Okay. 1 hit. Potential hit. Now the armor saves. It gets 4 saves, needing 5 to hit. And because it's a missile, it gets its reactive bonus. So it's actually 4 dice, needing 4s to save. Do note that the HQ, which modifies attack rolls, doesn't modify armored rolls. Defense, terrain, concealment would do such thing. In this case, not. So it's rolling 4 dice because of the reactive armor, requiring 4s to save that 1 hit. Yeah. Okay, but just enough. So I will now mark myself ops complete. And I better check missile ammo. Yeah, that was a one and only, well, maybe not the one and only shot, but then I've got to check for missile ammo on my next activation. Okay. Okay, that leopard, I've got to deal with it somehow. The other BMP is already automatically missile, no, but they do have some infantry. And instantly, okay, my mistake. This is not a fire order. It's move and fire. Okay, it hasn't made any difference. I missed. They saved, but I should have moved forward, which I will do now, because it was a definite move and fire command as denoted by the card. So they would have moved into there. They're now missile there with my HQ and the electronic warfare. Right. Okay. So there's no assault action going on. And it's half movement. Now, if you've got 3 movement, is that rounded up or rounded down? I better check. Okay, the way I'm reading it is round down. Okay, so the infantry can move 1 movement point and then fire. So they move into there. And they will fire on the BM, on the Marder one. Okay, so they will be looking at the 2 at 6. So point blank range becomes 2 at 5. And then they would lose 2 dice because they moved, but it goes down to 1 dice. So there's 1 at 5 for a hit. No, they miss. Marked ops complete. Okay, there's a BMP in there, which has no missiles. It has a HE equivalency, but there's nothing that could be affected by HE, these both being armored vehicles. It has 3 movement points. So we'll move, taking its reloading missile counter with it 1. 2. This unit can't see them, the L9. And this unit over here that can see them is also ops complete. This now moves 3 into there. You now give me complete control of that village. The L9 again, too close for the Marder weapons, minimum range being 3. So I've occupied that village. And I will change the objective marker. Let's move me out there. Control, no, just, there we go, and flip. 50% done. Very secure in my occupation. Not. Okay. And we will mark that with ops complete. The other BMP. Go 1, 2, into the town 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Again, because the enemy are ops complete, they can't target them. And the infantry are still in the vehicle. Ops complete. And no moving far because the infantry are in the vehicle. Yes, that's right. Okay. And then the last one, they are Mr. Reluctant at the back. I want to move on to the P10 killing zone and fire. No, that's too close. It'll be too close to fire. They could fire at the Marder. Okay, so it'll be 1, 2, 3. The road negating the climb and the hill bonus. Okay, and they will fire the missile at the Marder in M12. So rolling 3 dice, 4, but the 3 dice goes down to only 1 dice due to the moving. But then the 1 dice, because it's in point blank, goes down to a 3. So it's all these modifiers. At least they're all on the counter, and it does become quite easy to internalize the modifiers. You can still miss them, but you can still, internalize them. So I'll be rolling 1 dice, requiring a 3 to hit on the Marder. That is a hit. Okay. The effect, the Marder's only got a 6 armor. It needs a 6 to save, and it does. Glancing blow, no effect. Okay, check for my missile ammo. Oh, they brought loads. Brought loads with them. Okay, ops complete. And yeah, that is that battlefield event activation for me complete. Next up, it's the Germans. Okay. So we will clear all the out command status markers and the ops complete markers from it. This is their refresh step. Okay. Right, now checking command status. So the Leopard's automatically in command, the Marder in M12, the morale being 7. Yep, they're fine. The Marder in L9, they're fine. And the infantry in J6, they're out of command. Okay. Next up, we've just done the command state. Missile reload. Check the missile reload on J6. They've got 7. They've rolled a 7. They have reloaded their missiles. Double check that. Okay, infantry. If it succeeds, remove the missile reload. So they found some more. Thankfully, they are out of command, so won't be doing any firing at this stage. Okay. So that was their command and control. Missile reload, disruption removal. Okay, they've got 1 disrupted unit, the Marder. Morale of 7. Nope. He stays disrupted. You can't bring in any off-board artillery because of electronic warfare. So into the action phase. Okay. Let's see what their HQ is doing. Drawing a card. And it's card number 9. Okay, they've got priorities red. Priority says fire. Okay, well, again, it's still a target-rich environment. Which is the more threat to them? Another error. Okay. What happened to my unit with the leader that moved 1 hex? I'm going to have to pause it. I can't remember what I did. My HQ can't be on its own. Right, okay, the error was over here. This unit shouldn't have advanced from this hex, so bringing him back. So I haven't taken the village. Okay. Gaining myself an extra unit there. Good job the AI picked it up, isn't it? Again, it's not a flaw in solo playing, but you've got no one double checking you other than yourself. But I picked up on it eventually before any harm actually done. Okay, so the Leopard 2. So it is a target-rich environment. I think its biggest threat. Well, there are none. They're all a threat. So let's see. They want to keep control of the town. I would say that's more of a priority. So I'm going to have them firing at me. I don't want them to fire at me in the town, but I think that would be the more telling situation. Now, I've got 2 units in the town. Straight disrupted BMP or a BMP carrying infantry. I think the BMP carrying the infantry because it will be the infantry that take and hold the ground more effectively than my BMPs. So if they can do anything that can damage my infantry, they would take it. And we know the Leopard will be utilizing multiple dice. So if I know the BMP, point blank range, so that 4 at 3 will become 4 at 2, and then 2 for the HQ. That will be 6 dice they're rolling, requiring anything but a 1. That is 6 hits. This could get messy because if there's multiple hits into a location that aren't actually taken care of, we could taken care of as in not utilized as in hits on units, we could have a fire start in the actual town itself. So that's 6 hits. The BMP can't claim concealment because he's adjacent, but can claim cover from the buildings. So he'll be rolling 2 dice at 5. Okay, save one of those. So 5 hits. So it's destroyed. The infantry I will now check for. I think it was 1, 2, 3. They'll be reduced. 4, 5, 6. They're eliminated as well. They're eliminated as well. Okay, let's remove that. That's gone. I'll delete that counter. Delete. Get this cleared up. Sorry, delete. That's gone. Okay, so let me get the holding box, put those in. My losses are starting to look quite serious. That is my 3rd platoon of infantry removed, my 2nd BMP. And obviously I've lost the 2 T-62s. And pretty much most of those have been taken out by that Leopard. I just can't seem to scratch it. Okay, so 5 hits came through. 6 hits, 1 of which was counted. So 5, the unit took 3 of them, so 2 hits unaccounted for. Let's see how that causes a fire or potential fire. I will pause at this moment. Okay, so checking the rules with the errata, they've changed it that roll a dice for that hex. On a 1 to 4, there is no effect. On a 5 or 6, there is a potential fire. There's no other effect there. Okay. And the Leopard is now marked ops complete. Okay. The Marder that's disrupted. Drawing a fresh card for them. It has got enemy employment right. Right. It says this is card order 6, card 6. If disrupted, LRM, low risk move. Okay, so it wants to be able to move in such a way that it puts itself out of line of sight. Just checking if that means 1 hex or if the overall move. Okay, it says under low risk move that they've got to be able to get out of line of sight in the first hex they move to. Okay, in the first hex they move to. Now, L11 is still in line of sight of my units in M11, even though I've got no reaction or way to fire at them. So they should be marked ops complete. That was probably that ops complete mark I've just removed. So L12, they'll still be in line of sight, and M13, they'll still be in line of sight. So that will not apply. Next up, it says, is fire. Now, they still have machine guns, but they're disrupted, so they can't fire. All right. So moving down the card, it then says execute counter actions. All right. So the counter actions, defensive. Condition 1 doesn't apply because his AO moves on to map. No. Condition 2, AO within line of sight of units. Most units move and fire. Okay, it's disrupted. No, that's the point. It could be any of the units. So AEO within line of sight of most units move and fire. Okay, this guy in L9 within line of sight. Oh, he hasn't got line of sight because these 2 hexes block for L9. That close. J6 can see because of the range, but L9 is too close. These block line of sight there. So no one. Use that command. So no. AO more than point blank range in hex away from enemy. Move towards victory location. Okay. AEO more than point blank range in hex away from enemy unit. Move towards victory location. No, doesn't apply. AO closest to one of my units that fire or move towards. Okay, I think this applies to the Marder now, this one here. Even though we were checking for this unit, this is the unit that actually gets activated on it because of the card saying execute counter actions. And condition 4, AEO closest to a player unit that fired. A unit of fire here, fire and move towards. So it will enter that hex there, at which point it will then fire on my infantry. So it's a HE attack. So probably machine guns. I'm not sure if that's again 20 mil or 30 mil autocannon. But it fires a little blue of, as it's black, it will automatically get 1 dice. We'll go down to 0, but the minimum is 1 dice. That'll be 5, coming 4 for point blank. 1 dice at 4 on my infantry. That's a hit. My infantry, what's my infantry? Another error. What is going on today? Must be a bit tired. Okay, that's interesting. That can't, the HE can't affect that. It still moves into there. It's too close range for the Milan. So would it fall back? Let's think that through. Move and fire. It does say towards. Move towards. Okay, it moved in there, but it hasn't got the range capability on its Milan to actually fire. Being infantry, it would have engaged it. It can't, so we'll mark it ops complete at that point. Okay, so that was M12 tested for, and that is it. Outcommand units can't activate. So, okay. I'm going to pause the recording here because this has gone for a while. I have made a few errors, but I believe they've all been corrected. If you do see any other errors in the log during the play, please put it down in the comments section. I will be doing another recording straight after this to continue the actual turn. So join me in the next video.